Hill.
And kind of an interesting name, too. We'll get to that in a second. But this is Fred Hayward. He is in the documentary, The Red Pill, which is a movie. I say a movie. It's really a film, a documentary about the men's rights movement. We hear a lot about the women's rights. What is the men's rights movement?
That's actually the journey that a feminist award-winning documentary filmmaker, Cassie J, decided to do an expose on the men's rights movement. To expose us as angry losers who are resentful of the progress women have made, and who are not who are just whining about silly issues because we're privileged. How could we have serious issues?
Right.
And she believed everything that feminists had told her, and which the media also presents us as. And as she began talking to us, she realized that we're intelligent people, we're in loving relationships, we're totally supportive of equality for women, and we're talking about issues that are very serious for men, for women, and for children, and that feminism is really doing a disservice to society by suppressing discussion of this.
Now, you're painting with a couple of broad brushes here. One, talking about the media portraying everybody as one thing, and you also talk about feminists portraying all men's rights activists as another thing. Tell me what the issues are of the men's rights movement. Where do you see inequality for men,
well, you know,
where women have privilege?
There's a long list of issues that any one of them would be considered the #1 issue of the equal rights movement if it affected women the way it affects men. But because it affects men, it gets no priority at all. And it's difficult in 2 minutes to do justice to it.
Name a couple.
That's why the movie is so amazing. It's 2 hours of her journey into this, and it's the most amazing movie. It'll blow your mind. I don't know any movie that's more important or a better movie. It's certainly not about gender issues. Okay, one issue would be life expectancy. If women died 6 years before men instead of 6 years after men, gender genocide would be in the news every night as the major issue. And not only do we not talk about it hardly at all, but when we do talk about it, it's couched as a woman's issue. If you were to look back at the stories that you read in the newspaper that mentioned low male life expectancy, almost all of them would be in the context of lonely widows, you know, the poverty rate for widows, how this affects women. We can't even die and get credit for having an issue.
But isn't that, a lot of that seems to go to men's, their lifestyles, and men sort of famously don't like to go to the doctor, and it's about taking care of oneself and having a shorter life expectancy. I don't see how that would be an inequality issue when it comes to women.
Well,
maybe I'm saying, but I don't want us to run. Give me a couple of other examples, because I know a lot of people out there wondering how is it that, what are some other inequality issues that you see in society?
Okay. I wish we could talk more about life expectancy so that I could, you know, deal with what you just said. Another one is if I were to pull a gun on you or any parent and say, give me the keys to your car or the deed to your house or give me your job or your children, the last thing you would hand over is your children. There's nothing more valuable to us than our children. And men routinely, because of discrimination in family court, routinely lose their children. That's a really serious issue. If you're talking about equitably dividing up community property, you know, that's an issue. And what Cassie J found is that all down the line, feminism, which purports to be about equal rights, that's the backlash. That actually opposes equality for men in all of these things. It opposes joint custody for men. It opposes choice for men. In schools, it opposes men's studies programs. In healthcare, it opposes offices on men's health. It opposes equal funding for men's health issues. In domestic violence, it opposes equal protection for men. It opposes shelters for men. In the government, it opposes commissions on the status of men. So that's the backlash, and that's what she found. And the movie is just, it's got a 93% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It'll blow your mind. People should really see this movie. It's very controversial, but it's playing to standing ovations around the world right now.
And in fact, if you want to see it, we want to let you know when you can. fun. It's going to air this Sunday, on this Sunday at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. at the KOH Library and Cultural Center. That's at 2300 Sierra Boulevard in Sacramento. Again, this Sunday at 2 and 7 p.m. It does sound interesting, reading a little bit about it. And the title of the red pill, I know, is that from the movie The Matrix?
It's from The Matrix,
where the red pill does one thing and gives you a sense of reality.
The red pill is reality.
Yeah, and the blue pill is the escapism kind of thing, right?
Yes.
Well, I appreciate your time. I know this is a lengthy issue you can't really cover in 3 minutes, but the movie is available out there if you want to see it. If you're interested in finding out more about the men's rights movement and the inequalities they see and what the goal is of the group, you can check out the documentary.
Can I just say on March 7th, it'll be released publicly on Netflix and Amazon.
Oh, well, there you go. We look for it there, too. Robert, Fred, thank you so much for being on the show. Bethany, back to you.
Yeah, such an intriguing topic. Thanks, you guys.